Today I'm gonna be making shank tacos. I posted about this recently, we got a lot of good feedback on it, so I wanted to share what we do with it. In my opinion, it's the easiest meal to cook with any big game. It's gonna be one of your best tasting meals. You can feed this to anybody. Anybody that hasn't tried Wild Game, I recommend this is the go-to recipe. Nobody's not gonna like this recipe. It's super simple. For those of you who don't know, the shank of an animal is like the equivalent of like the forearm or calf of an animal. Generally, there's a lot of connective tissue in there. It's tough. Cooking it this way breaks all that connective tissue down, makes it a very enjoyable meal. So I'll show you what we got going on here. We've got a full shank from a bear. This is very simple what we're gonna do. Right now we're going to salt and pepper it heavily. Any kind of salt, any kind of pepper is gonna do just fine. You don't have to get real fancy with it. Let me start by saying I'm not a cook, I'm not a chef, and I can make this work and it tastes phenomenal. So if I can make it work, you can make it work as well. Now that we got it heavily salted, heavily peppered, we're gonna take it over to our skillet and we're gonna sear all sides of it to get a nice caramelized outer crust on it before it hits the Dutch oven. We've got the skillet warmed up to nice medium heat. We're gonna go ahead and get this shank in there, sear those sides. All right, we hit each side for about 3 to 4 minutes. You can see how it's got a nice seared look on the outside. We threw it in the crock pot now. Remember, to this point, literally all we've done is salted, peppered, and seared a piece of meat. Nothing hard about that. It's been very easy to this point. Normally we do this in the Dutch oven at about 300 degrees for 6 to 8 hours. The shank's a little bit bigger, so it didn't fit in our Dutch oven, so we're switching over to the crock pot. You can easily do this in a crock pot. We're gonna add beef broth. We're gonna fill it up till it covers about 3/4 of the shank. You can use any kind of broth. You can use beef, you can use chicken. It's not gonna matter. It's gonna taste very good either way. Like I said, this is one of the simplest recipes you can do. That's still gonna taste phenomenal. Once we got it in the crock pot, once we've got that beef broth in there, we are gonna add a can of diced tomatoes. You can use tomatoes, you can use pineapple, you can use red wine. Basically the idea of it is that the enzymes in tomatoes, wine, pineapples, that enzymes break down protein, which will make this pull apart. It's gonna fall off the bone. It's gonna shred easily when you go to throw it on tacos. It's gonna be great. So we'll check back in when it's done cooking in about 8 hours. It's been about 8 hours now, so it's time to pull this shank out of the crock pot. As you can see here, it's already, the big part's already come off the bone. We're going straight to the bowl here that we're going to, you can see that this meat's falling off here. We're going straight to the bowl that we're shredding in. So this is 8 hours, nothing but the salt, the pepper, the beef broth, and the tomato paste. And you can see how easily this comes apart. All that connective tissue that was in here has been broken down. You can do this with any animal. It doesn't have to be a shank. You have any large cut of an animal, you can do the same exact recipe with, and it's gonna turn out the exact same. Any tough cut, you can do neck roast the same way. Like I said, this is a very simple recipe. We only use a few ingredients in this. The only other ingredients that we have are red onion, cilantro, and Cojita Cheese, the Mexican crumbly cheese. And then your choice of taco sauce, anything like that. We don't put anything else on the bear meat itself. We fried up some corn tortillas to go along with this. That's our preferred way of making these. This is just a little bit of roasted chipotle street taco sauce. That's it, it's simple as that. Simple ingredients. Like I said before, we're not chefs, we're not cooks, but this is very good. I think this is gonna be your favorite Wild Game meal from here on out. It's gonna be the meal that you cook for people that are just trying Wild Game for the first time. I hope you guys like it.